I think what's fun about watching morning television, from the lens of behind the scenes, is that everything that is happening on morning TV show is set to make you feel comfortable, as if it is the most casual, off-the-cuff thing you can possibly imagine. And in order for that to occur, the extreme amount of stress that people ingest behind the scenes, the amount of yelling, the amount of directors whispering things in someone's ear that has to go into your ear, but make sure you don't hear it, because if you hear it, then there's going to be an entire storm.
Yeah.
So,
starting out at 3 a.m. every day.
exactly, That's really the fun of what this show has to offer, And then you come for the fun, but then you stay for, the inherent drama of what is happening in society, and how a lovely morning show with all your favorite people who you are convinced all love each other is not exactly what you thought it was.
Is there something, I'm sure you guys had sort of been thinking about and unpacking what the last few years have been like for us societally and culturally, presented through media or otherwise. But did doing the show sort of change your perspective around the Me Too era and the things that are happening there within?
I mean, for me, being a part of a show that is Apple's first big show, and this show is 100% led by women. Our showrunner is a female, our producing director is a female. Jen and Reese both act in the show, and they're producers on the show. I felt like that was really, really important for Apple to put forward, and I felt like, from my own experience, being number 5 on the call sheet, just a collective member of this thing that is led pretty much exclusively by women, it was kind of awesome, because it was kind of like, okay, I don't have to do anything other than portray this man and the nuances that they have written so well, and just honor this ship that is kind of, for the first time, like, really, really being led by a group of kick-ass women.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly. When you're a part of a period of time where your culture is shifting and societal norms are being questioned and broken down, as somebody who is in the performing arts, all you want to do is be a part of the conversation. I mean, you want the work to be a part of the conversation. Right. So that to get to be involved in an iteration that is so extreme in its high-level ambition and talent, it's better than anything I could have imagined. And it's certainly, for me, it's not a question of understanding or not understanding. It's a long format discussion. And we all have to have it with as many people as possible in order to collectively share in moving forward. And so this little part of it, in addition to being able to be a part of a phenomenal ensemble, is really unique and rewarding.
Yeah. What was it like for you guys, as you were just saying, going to work and watching Reese and Jen do their thing, not only as performers, but executives on the show?
I mean, I've worked a lot as a producer and a writer and an actor in my own stuff, so I have a sense of how stressful that can be, but a lot of the stuff I make is much more niche, and whether it makes money or not, or whether it gets out there or not, who cares, This show is a monster. It is, as you will see, it is huge. The set pieces are enormous. The talent is incredible. And so knowing that Reese and Jen are having to be centered as creative performers alongside us, but at the same time, during lunch, they're reading scripts for the next episode. After they go home, they're working on watching cuts and giving notes on that as well. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal, the sort of Herculean task that they both undertook for this.
It's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, and to bear witness to it in close proximity is a privilege.
Yeah. Is there ever a moment on set where you're just like, look at them and go, is what I'm doing all right, boss? Is it all right?
But,
I like this. I like my job.
That
Please.
is a big portion of the whole thing is you want to be a constructive part of this discussion and a constructive part of this artistic enterprise. And I feel that all the time anyway. I'm not a producer. I'm not somebody who writes my own material. I'm purely interpretive. And I won't be successful if I don't know the tenor and the tone of what it is we're working on. So I'm constantly in a state of, running to Carrie saying, is that what you meant? is that Mimi? Is this the right way to approach it? They're everybody.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, it was just the heightened ambition of it that was so incredible to bear witness to.
I mean, it's a fun profile to be, one of the powerful white dudes of the morning show, and you've got Billy, and you got myself, you got Steve Carell, amongst others, and I think that it's no coincidence that they cast these kinds of people whose interest was and whose skill set was to bring nuance and humanity to those things. So it's like, the head of the news corporation, should he be an arch villain? That's usually how it's portrayed. But you hire Billy, and he's going to come and he's going to play with nuance. The guy who gets Me Too'd and Steve Carell, well, you hire Steve Carell because he can offer you some nuance and understanding. He's all of our favorite person, and likewise for my character, he's perennially stressed out head of the morning show. He's got to blaze down 10 different relationships on any given day, and my job was explicitly stated to come in and humanize this thing as much as possible so we can have a nuanced conversation.